What is happening, fish freaks? This is Dave Guitar Fish from Aquarium Design of Utah, ADA+Aquascaping. How's it going? I hope everyone's having a good weekend. I thought I would just go ahead and do a quick video on the secret to making your plants bushy and compact. Now, real quick, obviously the answer is trimming. But I just want to help some people out. I've been getting different questions about, how do you get your plants to look like that? Did you place the plants there? Did they fill in? So I want to talk about one of the things that I haven't really heard a lot of people talk about. Yes, they talk about trimming. You can read this kind of stuff on forums, but it doesn't seem like there's a lot of YouTube videos about it. And this is in a way one of the main fundamentals to aquascaping. So first off, if you want to have a carpeting tank, if you want to have all this stuff, of course, the things that you have to do, that you just have to accept, is the first steps is you have to have high lighting, high CO2, and high fertilization, and a nutrient-rich substrate. There's nothing you can do about it, okay? That's just something you have to accept. So first off, you have to do that. Now, second thing is, you have to spend a lot of time in the tank. That's why I say keep your sleeves wet. If you don't get what that means, you either wear short sleeves all the time, don't wear a shirt, you aquascape in the nude, which I don't blame you, we've all done it, or you're not spending enough time in the tank. I want to illustrate it for you. Usually when I explain things, I actually like to draw pictures, which is weird because I've never done it once, I don't think, on YouTube. Maybe a couple lines here and there on that how to balance your aquarium video. But I went ahead and got a whiteboard, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut to that. I'm going to show you what I mean. I'm going to show you the different kind of plants, the different types. I'm not going to get extremely technical. And this all comes with experience. Tell you what you can do, what you can't do, the best ways to do it to get thick growth. How to make it thicken up, how to spread it out. There's different ways you can do it, whatever method you like to use. I'll show you the different ways I do it, some of the different techniques, the do's and the don'ts. So I'll go ahead and cut to the whiteboard. Of course, there's rosettes, there's stem plants, there's bog plant, rhizomes, there's ferns, and there's moss. So those are the 5 main plants. Here I've got an Amazon sword, Echinodorus. I've got a cryptocoryne, Wenti, or whatever, and then I have a Vallisneria. All 3 of these are rosettes, which basically means that the stems are coming out of the base. They're produced from the base. If you splice it, it gives basically like a rose, like a rosette pattern. So I'm going to talk about the ways you want to cut these off and how you make them compact. So the way you make these compact, the way you make them really bushy, is if you ever see, really tall leaves coming up, things like this, you want to get rid of them. You cut this off at the base. You never want to cut it off at the top. So you cut it off with some scissors at the base. And every time you cut off, say there's 2 long leaves coming up, you cut this one off. Every time you cut really long leaves coming up, the next leaves that are going to grow, they're going to be compact. So that's how you make these plants more bushy, more compact. A lot of these will have sister plants that will come off them, and so they'll kind of get bushier on their own, but that's how you make it compact. You've got the crypt, you want to take that off. Same with the valve. Now I've even done this with valves. Everyone has. I cut it off at the top. That's okay, but it can be unhealthy. It can lead to algae, things like that. So it's kind of better to go down near the base and kind of clip it off or peel it away, any long leaves. And these can get, jungle valve can get 4 or 5 feet long. But say you have Italian valve, the more and more you tease these by taking away the long leaves, the more compact they're going to become. So that's basically how you do it with rosettes. It's pretty simple. Let's move on to stem plants. And I've got a few different examples of stem plants really quick. Different kinds. First off, let's do some Blixa, which is technically a stem plant. Even, like Pogostemon helferi is. Let's do Limnophila aromatica. Do some calligraphy. So that's Limnophila, okay. Let's do Bacopa. Okay, that's my Bacopa. And then let's do hygrophila, compact, it doesn't matter, giant hygro, angustifolia willow, you know, the temple plant, doesn't really matter. I love hygros. Okay, so all 4 of these, well, 3 of them prefer different methods. So first off with Blixa. With Blixa, I would never cut off the tops. A lot of times we want to cut the tops because we're trying to get it to match our scape. But really what you want to do is you don't want to cut the tops of plants for the most part. Well, depending on the plant, to get the shape of the scape that you want. You want to get it more and more compact until, you know, it reaches like 8 or 9 inches high. And you're like, okay, I want it to be 9 inches high, so I'm going to stop teasing the plant. It's compact enough. I'm not going to go as crazy because I've met my goal. So with certain plants like the rosettes and Blixa, you don't want to chop the tops to get it to match. Same with like pygmy chainsword or dwarf sagittaria, because it's going to make them become unhealthy. So technically, you know, the Blixa is a stem plant, so it's got all these things coming up. It'll get higher and higher and higher. So what you can do is you can come in here and you can chop these away from the main stem, and then you can replant them all and then get rid of the main stem. A lot of this has to do with, you know, multiplying the plant, replanting, and getting rid of the main stem. So that's how you want to do with Blixa. Limnophila aromatica, same with like a lot of Pogostamen erectus or Lidwigia cuba, things like that. You can chop the top. Then of course what happens is you'll get 2 heads. You know, you can go ahead and chop these, right? And then this will turn into 2 more or even 3. Now things like Rotala rotundifolia and Bacopa and all those kind of plants, all these just average stem plants, this is what you want to do. It's the same thing with the Bacopa. You know, you take that, it's going to split off, okay? But the thing is, people will do that and they'll be like, well, how come my plants, you know, I'm chopping them and chopping them, but they're just looking more and more tattered. Well, what you have to do is you have to go through and you have to cut all these off, okay? Cut all the new growth off. You could cut it off right there, so you have 1, 2, 3, 4. You could cut it off right there, so you have 2 stems with, you know, 2 shoots. And then what you do is you get rid of the main stem. And then you replant all of the new growth. You take all these and you replant them. Okay? So that's how you do it with just the everyday average stem plant. You can take the top off, but if you just keep chopping and chopping, it's going to end up looking tattered and you're not really going to get the results you want until you take the new growth, chop the new growth off, replant the new growth, and get rid of the mother stem. Now moving on to the hygro, I wouldn't recommend chopping the top off. You can do it, but I think it's better if you just do a different method, because this plant will get bushier and bushier and bushier and bushier because it's actually creating all these sister plants next to it, kind of like a crypt. Okay? So what you do is you've got these sister plants coming up off the side. What you want to do is you want to cut these sister plants off, okay? And then you want to replant the sister plants. And then what you do is you go down about 3/4 of the way down, you cut it down right here, you get rid of this, you uproot it, you get rid of that part, and then you replant the upper half. And then another thing you can do, because these plants tend to get big leaves with hygrophilas, you constantly want to be plucking those leaves. The more and more you pluck leaves with hygrophilas, the bushier and bushier they're going to get. Things like limnophila or Bacopa, it doesn't really matter because all the leaves are basically uniform. But if you get big leaves up here, some of these big leaves will be shadowing the leaves underneath, so you want to cut them. Another reason you do this is you're getting all these sister plants. You want to, of course, make it bushier, but hygros are notorious for having the lower leaves fall off, so it helps to keep the plant, you know, more uniform from top to bottom and be bushy. So you always want to be plucking the leaves. You want to be plucking the big leaves. Anytime you see an abnormally large leaf on any plant, get rid of it. Anytime you see an unhealthy leaf, get rid of it. So that's basically that for those kind of stem plants. Moss, we'll just do moss real quick. That's moss, okay? Filaments here and there. Okay, trim moss with your scissors. Keep it trimmed, keep trimming, it's going to get compact. Pretty self-explanatory for moss. Rhizomes, we've got the anubias, you know, leaves coming out of the rhizome. Say you have this huge leaf coming out. Get rid of that leaf, chop it off next to the rhizome with scissors. You don't want to pinch it, you'll ruin it, ruin the plant. Oh, you got an unhealthy leaf? Here's an unhealthy one. Get rid of the unhealthy one. This will make the plant more healthy, more compact, more bushy overall. All this is actually helping the plant out. It's just like roses. They like to be teased. It helps out the health of the plant. Ferns are just like rosettes. Let's say we have Bobetus or Java fern. We'll just do a huge Java fern. Okay, huge abnormal leaf. Get rid of the abnormal leaf at the base. Okay, unhealthy leaf. Get rid of that leaf. It's going to make it more compact. Now, a lot of this seems like common sense, but not for everyone, including myself. Like, when I first started, like, let's say we have some Blixa. Let's say we have an Amazon sword. Vallisneria. Right? So that's some Val. Let's say we have a huge Java fern. They all look... What am I drawing? 4 different plants, and they all look the same. Anyways, you never want to go like this. Oh, let's just cut the Blixa. Oh, let's cut the Java fern. Oh, let's cut the Amazon sword. Oh, let me cut the Val. No, you never do that. Okay, so that's basically it. Until next time, I hope this helps someone out. And you better be keeping your sleeves wet. Get those plants compact, guys. Real quick. Baby tears and glossostigma and like SP Japan are technically stem plants. Let's blow up some glosso. So here's some glosso blown up, magnified. Okay, so what we're doing obviously with these, we go through and we cut them with our scissors. We're trying to carpet the plant, right? So it's the same kind of thing. It promotes new growth, and then it also teases them, so it promotes runners to come up. Okay? So with these stem plants, they're miniature stem plants. That's how you do it. You cut the tops. So you can see different kinds of stem plants, prefer different kinds of croppings, rosettes, yada, yada, yada. If you want to get more clarification, just hit rewind and watch again. Till next time, peace out. Talk to you later.